Good evening and welcome to Just the News. I'm Faye D'Souza. It's a Friday night, so we're going to keep it brisk and we'll tell you just the news of what's happening in India and the world. My first story, in my mind, is the most important story in the country, is that petrol and diesel prices have been hiked again. This is the 14th hike in the month of October alone. In Mumbai, petrol now costs 112 rupees and 78 paise. Diesel costs 103 rupees per litre and 63 paise. Delhi is 106 rupees and 89 paise for petrol and 95 rupees and 63 paise for diesel. Of course, the fuel rates differ from state to state because there is a difference in the amount of tax that is charged by the state government. Sometimes there's an education cess, or there is a farming cess or a drought cess that different states have added to fuel, and that's why there is a difference. And then, of course, there's the central taxes, which is VAT, like we keep telling you. Without either of these taxes, the actual value of the oil per litre is at about 48 rupees. And then from 48 rupees to 112 rupees, everything is just taxes. Globally, oil prices have risen, crude prices have risen by $8 a barrel, and it's now at $84 a barrel. This is because countries have now managed to vaccinate their populations. They've opened up their economy. People are moving around in their cars and taking flights again, which is why the price of crude has gone up. But as the government keeps arguing that this is because of international prices, that's not entirely true. It is half because of international prices, but mostly because of taxes from the government. In other news, just a few days after members of the Nihang community were arrested for killing a Dalit daily wage labourer at the farmer protest site in Singhu border near Delhi, another man was allegedly attacked at the Singhu border, according to a report by NDTV. In a video circulating on social media, the victim, Manoj Paswan, has alleged that he was attacked after he refused to hand over a chicken for free. In the video, he's seen saying that someone demanded a chicken from him, but he said he cannot give it because he's answerable to his bosses, shopkeepers and farm owners. He said, "I'm a labourer, I could lose my job." He said, when the person saw that I had a beedi in my pocket, it infuriated him and he attacked me. According to NDTV, one man from the Nihang community has been arrested. Actor Ananya Pandey was summoned to the NCB office for the second time today for a second round of questioning in the drugs on cruise case. Ananya had recorded her statement yesterday in connection with the arrest of Aryan Khan, whose bail hearing was put off by the Bombay High Court until next week on Tuesday, the 26th. Now, ANI, quoting sources within the NCB, has said that Ananya denied allegations of supplying drugs to Aryan Khan, who is accused in the case. But really, one wonders why the NCB is leaking information to the press in a matter that is still under investigation and sub judice before the court. NCB sources have also told ANI that the chats they recovered from Aryan Khan's mobile phone for the year 2018-19 said that Ananya helped him thrice in providing him phone numbers of drug dealers. Ananya has said that she was just joking and she never consumed or supplied drugs. BJP MP Anant Kumar Hegde from Karnataka has taken objection to an advertisement by tyre major Seat Limited in which actor Aamir Khan is seen advising people not to burst crackers in the street but to instead burst crackers only inside their building society. Now, the MP has gone as far as to write a letter to the company's managing director and CEO, Anant Goenka. The letter reads, "Your concern to public issues needs applause. But in this regard, I request you to address one more problem faced by people on the roads, blocking of roads in the name of namaz on Friday and other important festivals by Muslims," end quote. He also went on to say that anti-Hindu actors always hurt the sentiments of Hindus. They never try to expose the wrongdoings of their own community. Now, earlier, there was another member of parliament from Karnataka, Tejasvi Surya, who started a row on Twitter over discontentment over a Fab India advertisement, which basically named their festive collection Jashn-e-Riwaz. He accused Fab India of Abramizing the Hindu festival. This is the second such controversy over a brand or an advertisement brought in by a member of parliament from the BJP. There has been a spike in the number of dengue cases in Delhi. Several hospitals are experiencing a surge in the number of patients. Until now, 2021, Delhi has reported 723 cases of dengue, the highest number of cases reported so far since 2018. TOI has also reported that the number of beds reserved for COVID patients in private hospitals has been reduced from 30 to 10%. According to the Indian Express on Wednesday, Ward 13 in the Department of Medicine at the Safdarjung Hospital was overflowing with patients occupying the floors along the three corridors, some sharing beds. Delhi Minister Satyendra Jain, however, said that cases are under control and there is no need to panic because there are an adequate number of beds. Former Jammu and Kashmir Governor Satyapal Malik has claimed that he was told he could make 300 crore rupees as a bribe if he cleared two files. He said one belonging to Ambani and the other one to a person affiliated to the RSS during his tenure as governor of Jammu and Kashmir. He said, though, that he didn't take the offer and he cancelled the deals. He did not specify when he said Ambani in his speech which of the two Ambani brothers he was referring to. He also praised the Prime Minister Narendra Modi for supporting his decision by saying that there is no need to compromise to corruption. Malik alleged that Kashmir is the most corrupt place in the country. He said while all over the country a 4 or 5% commission is sought, in Kashmir it's 15% commission that is demanded. He said without explaining anything. He added that under his leadership there was no big case of corruption reported in Jammu and Kashmir and that he declined a favour to his relatives in the valley as well. The story has been reproduced in the print and the bite is available widely on social media. A look at our COVID numbers in the last 24 hours. The numbers are good. India reported 15,786 new COVID cases. Kerala reported 9,361. So there is a drop in those numbers, which is a good sign. A quick look at news coming in from the world of business. Paytm has received SEBI, the market regulator's approval for its IPO, its initial public offering, which plans to raise 16,600 crore rupees. Now, this will be India's largest IPO ever. Money Control, the website quoting sources, has said the listing could take some time and would happen in November. The website also reported that the company plans to raise 8,300 crore rupees through fresh equity and another 8,300 crore rupees through offer for sale. Like I said, this will be the biggest IPO in India in terms of deal size. News coming in from across the world right now. Now, this is a specific report in the BBC that says that Hindu citizens in Bangladesh are living in fear following a series of mob attacks in the country. There have been several instances of violence in Bangladesh. At least 6 people were killed and hundreds injured in communal violence and mayhem that took place during the Durga Puja celebrations in Bangladesh. Dozens of Hindu houses were torched in North Bangladesh after a social media post reportedly alleged that Hindus were defaming the Islamic holy book. Bangladeshi Home Minister has said hundreds of people have been arrested and the investigation has been launched. Remember, Hindus constitute about 9% of Bangladesh's more than 165 million population, and there have been some attacks on religious minorities in the past. One thing that was in fact heartening is in the capital city, Dhaka, several people, hundreds of people from the majority Bangladeshi community came out onto the streets and demanded that these attacks stop and that people of the majority community no longer attack the minorities. 104 people have been killed in Nepal due to flooding and landslides that were triggered because of very heavy rain. 41 people have been missing and several injured. Over 20 districts in Nepal have been worst hit. However, according to officials, conditions have started improving as of yesterday. Now, in the middle of China and Taiwan building tensions, US President Joe Biden has said the US will defend Taiwan if China attacks. In a CNN town hall, when asked about defending China, he responded, and I quote, "Yes, we have committed to that," end quote. According to BBC, a White House spokesperson later told some US media outlets that his remarks do not signify a change in policy. In response, the Chinese spokesperson said, and I quote, "China urges the United States not to send wrong signals to the forces of Taiwan, independence, and to avoid seriously harming Sino-US ties and peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait." Taiwan's presidential office says its position remains the same, which is that it will neither give in to pressure nor rashly advance when it gets support. A piece of positive news, of course, before we leave you for the day. Sufia Khan of Ajmer has become the first woman runner in the world to complete the Manali to Leh ultra marathon. She accomplished the feat in just 6 days. The ultra marathon started on the 25th of September and ended on the 1st of October. She covered a distance of 480 kilometers in 156 hours. She's also a two-time Guinness World Record holder. I have a message for you though before I let you go. It's not a quiz, it's a message. There is a company called India Signing Hands. They're basically a company that puts out information via sign language for people who are hearing impaired or deaf. Now, my team has tied up with them. We are collaborating. And Just the News every day as a video, and the script is being handed over to their team. And they're putting out a version of Just the News as we produce it, along with a sign language interpretation. So this will be up on the YouTube page of India Signing Hands. You can take a look at it. It goes up in a couple of hours after Just the News goes up on our Instagram and our YouTube. We're giving this completely free of cost because we want it to be accessible to as many people as possible. We didn't have the ability to do it, and I know that this was a problem for several people who felt that if they were hearing impaired, that they weren't able to follow this news bulletin. Well, India Signing Hands have been very kind. They've come forward and they've said that they will collaborate with us. So starting today, and you'll find details mentioned in the description, starting today you'll find our bulletin also in sign language that you can take advantage of. Thank you so much for listening. Do remember to share this video with anyone you feel will benefit from Just the News. Good night. Have a nice week.